I mentioned to a friend recently that we would be inducting David Lee into the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame. Well, my friend said, well, that's cool, but why would you put this guy into the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame? And I said, no. David Lee, not David Lee Roth. Come on. And by the way, ladies, Mr. Roth doesn't look quite like that anymore. I had to show that. Now you won't get it out of your head the rest of the night. And Mr. Roth certainly doesn't have the credentials to be in our Hall of Fame that David Lee does. A 6'9" high school McDonald's All-American at Chaminade, a star on the Florida Gators 2005 SEC championship team, a 12-year career in the NBA, including stops with the Knicks, Mavericks, Celtics, Warriors, and Spurs. His 2015 Warriors winning the NBA championship. That's a great NBA run. And not many NBA players who scored more than one basket can say they had a game in which they didn't miss a shot.
David Lee against Sean Williams. Lee, one of the best passing bigs, also one of the better rebounders in the NBA. He hits the jump hook, the 10-year vet and former Florida Gator. A 13-7 lead for Miami, 11 straight points for the Heat until that David Lee lay-in. Thompson, good drive. David Lee with the score and the foul, all set up by the dribble penetration of Klay Thompson.
He keeps his dribble, gets around D-Wade, and saw Lee inside.
Bogut, nice pass, and that's what we were talking about, the bigs that can pass and finish. Bogut setting up David Lee. Lee now with 11 points. Warriors trying to play with great pace. Great pass. That time it's Thompson that set up David Lee for the point-blank score and the foul on Sean Williams.
And you can see what Coach Bolster was talking about, how the Heat's lack of execution.
Okay, it was a preseason game, but how many guys how many guys can go 11 for 11 from the field with 24 points in any NBA game? I don't care when it's played. Please enjoy Ron Jacober's bio of David in tonight's program. Randy Carricker's back for the interview. Now please welcome to the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame, David Lee.
Congratulations. We want to just keep that under the table. That was. You know what though? There were defenders. How many people in this room could just go into a gym and not miss a shot? Doesn't matter.
I'll agree with you on that one.
Hey, so you went to middle school at Burroughs and you go to high school at Chaminade. When did it strike you? Hey, I'm really good at this.
You know, I was the starting point guard on our junior varsity team. Junior varsity coach Massa's here tonight. And then, a lot of Massa fans in the house. And grew between my freshman and sophomore year, grew something 4 or 5 inches and came back as our starting center my sophomore year on the varsity. So that was the big jump, and I think the time where I got noticed nationally, and the rest is history, I guess.
Part of that history includes winning the slam dunk competition at the 2001 McDonald's All-American game. Tell us about that experience.
All right, so good story. So I'm roommates with a guy, Eddie Curry. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Eddie Curry. So he is, as an 8th grader, I played against him. He's 6'11", 320 pounds as an 8th grader. When I was his teammate in New York with the Knicks, he was 6'11", 360 pounds. So he says, we're roommates of the game, and he says, hey, this is going to be on ESPN. Let's do the dunk contest. He said, I'm going to try to drop step dunk and break the backboard 3 times in a row. I said, now this I got to see. But he goes, I'm only doing it if you do it with me. I said, perfect, let's do it. So they get the ESPN thing, everybody's getting ready, and Eddie goes, hey man, my calf hurts, I'm not going to do it. And I said, perfect, no problem, we're in this together. I said to the ESPN people, I said, hey, Eddie's out, I'm out. They said, sorry, we already have your name up first. And I had never been in a dunk contest in my entire life. And I go out there. So I had a strategy. So we're in a packed gym, a packed high school gym. And crowds are going crazy, and it's high school kids. And my roommate later in college, James White, is my roommate. He's one of the best dunkers of all time. The guy can jump from the free throw line, dunk with 2 hands, do all this crazy stuff. So I have a strategy. We're in layup lines getting warmed up, and I pretend like I can't dunk. And so I go up the first time, I lay the ball in, I fall on my back. So everybody in the crowd, oh, the white guy's trying to be in the dunk contest. And they're all making fun of me. So I said, okay. So then the first dunk, I come out and I do it between the legs from the corner. From that point, I probably shouldn't have won the dunk contest, but because of the crowd reaction, I kind of tricked everybody into winning it. So I'll take the trophy on that one.
Congratulations. And then you move on to the University of Florida, and if you're not aware of it, the University of Florida basketball program hasn't always been great. You went to a program that wasn't great. You kind of helped lay the groundwork, right?
So I made visits to Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, all the ones that were kind of the pedigree schools. And looking back for right or wrong reasons, I decided Florida, I wanted to be a part of something that had never been done. You go to Duke and you win a championship, they say, oh, this is the, 18th time we've won the ACC title. And Florida was just coming off a Final Four loss to Michigan State, but they had a really cool program building. Billy Donovan was the coach, and he came up here and recruited me and really liked him. So I made the decision to go there and kind of trailblaze a little bit. Also, leaving the Midwest wasn't easy. Mizzou was building a program, SLU was building a program, Illinois. So it was a big decision, Kansas. So it was a big decision for me, but I guess, things worked out in the end and had a great college career.
And you wound up winning a national championship with the Gators. And I
did not. Just like that was not a regular season game, it was a preseason game. I was graduated and did not win until I was in the pros.
So that's unfortunate. But you did lay the groundwork.
Bringing up tough memories tonight, guys.
Yeah, close though.
He was 1 year off, but I did start the fire that then.
Exactly.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
And
you make Hall of Fames for starting the fire.
And you're probably thinking, okay, I get drafted by the Knicks, and we were able to ascend in college, and I'll just go to the Knicks and we'll ascend and we'll wind up being good. Probably what you're thinking, right, when you start your career?
No question. So I was the 30th pick in the draft. And in fact, a guy that was in the same position as me, Channing Frye, was picked 7th. So I really had no chance of playing. And went there and my first year just really put my head down and said, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do everything I can do to try to keep getting better. And I credit St. Louis. I'm bringing it back to St. Louis now. I really think there's something about being from the Midwest, being from St. Louis. A lot of players before me, I kind of looked up to Larry Hughes, who was the guy before me that made it. And I think that attitude of finding a way really came through, and I was able to earn myself some playing time. And then by my 3rd year, I was the captain of the team and made a big difference in New York.
And then you move on, and you ultimately wind up winning your championship with Golden State. So you were with that young team that eventually became a dynasty.
So I signed my deal with Golden State. I was actually at J-Bucks in St. Louis, which, good memories there. J-Bucks in St. Louis, and they say the next morning, hey, you've signed your deal with Golden State. You need to do your interviews. And I went up on Lindbergh, they have that broadcast studio, and did the interviews. And the Golden State media says, why would you ever come to Golden State? This is the worst franchise. They haven't made the playoffs in 13 years. And we were able to go. The only 2 players 2 years later from that whole entire team organization were myself and Steph Curry. 5 years later, we were able to win a championship, and it was a pretty special experience.
Now, Frank Cusimano told me to ask you this question, that you were in the NBA Finals, you're playing at the highest level. He wanted me to ask you to compare that to playing Chaminade and De Smet, those games.
Wait. So you're telling me Frank Cusimano
He planted this one.
found a way to weave De Smet into this conversation?
He always does. He always does.
You gotta be kidding me on that. I told Frank earlier tonight, I said, the NBA is an incredible entertainment vessel. It's a great team sport and a great entertainment thing. But really, high school and college sports are the epitome of those real rivalries. And some of the rivalries we had when I was in high school against CBC and against De Smet, and then in college against Kentucky and other schools like that, that was like you look at the guys on the other team and you don't know if you like the guys or not. You're just like, well, if they play for Kentucky, I despise them. So it's kind of that feeling, but looking back on it, those were really special times.
It's interesting. We can look at a great college career and a 13-year NBA career and have a conversation, and St. Louis continues to be woven throughout your life, even when you were not in St. Louis. So how much does this mean to be in your hometown St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame?
It means a lot because I think where you come from has a huge bearing. I have a 2-year-old. Me and my wife Caroline have a 2-year-old and a 10-month-old now, and you start to put in those principles, and I really believe where you come from has a huge part of that, and the people that you surround yourself with. So I want to, if I can say really quick, I have a lot of people don't know Caroline's my cousin, so we got the whole extended family here. My beautiful wife Caroline, who just had a great run of her own at the U.S. Open, so proud to have you taking your time. And then we have 2 sets of things that were really big in my career were Chaminade. Obviously, we have a big set of coaches and administrators and everybody from Chaminade. And then the St. Louis Eagles, who are now the Brad Beal Elite, were a huge part of what I did and kind of put me from a local to a national stage. And that, my whole goal is that the little thing that I did in St. Louis with basketball, like Larry Hughes was for me, helped to make it a little bit easier for guys like Brad Beal and Jason Tatum to get noticed. And now when you hear, wow, there's a great basketball player coming out of St. Louis, people don't say like, oh, that's surprising. People say, yeah, I've heard there's been a lot of great players out of St. Louis. And I think that's everyone's goal, is to just raise that level up a little bit more. So I'm really proud of that.
Congratulations. It's my honor to welcome David Lee into the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame.